Okay, so I'm responding to Sarah's response about my paper. I thought they made a lot of really good points in regards to maybe I was spending too much time talking about the other parts of the European Union and their government, the Council, the Commission, and so on. I mean, I thought that was kind of necessary to create a differentiation between the powers that the European Parliament has and the powers that the Council and the Commission have. But maybe you're right, and maybe that's just all irrelevant. I should just get rid of that. So that's something I'll have to think about and to consider. But I'm not really sure moving forward what I'll do. I'm gonna have to reconsider that and kind of go through my research and think about it. And yeah, you pointed out, speaking of my research, that I didn't include all of the sources that were in my works cited, which I think I only have 6 pages written so far when I submitted it, the draft for you to look at. So I'm going to include the other sources. Those are just ones that I'd already gone through and decided that, hey, there's something important in here that I wanted to include to say about my topic. So there's that. What else? Oh, I liked that you pointed out maybe some of my wording in my sentences was a little clunky, because when I write, I do tend to kind of put a lot into a sentence and kind of pack it all in, and maybe I need to take some of that out and kind of decompress it, I guess, and just get the specifics and break it down. So that was a point well taken. And I don't think we're really supposed to respond to the other response, but I noticed when I was watching your response to mine that you mentioned something about the citations and whether or not you had to include the author's name like throughout when you were citing your source or whatever. I hadn't heard that, but I thought that was interesting. So maybe that's something I'll look into, because if you don't need to include the author's name, then that'll be nice to kind of mention it once and then cut it out. That way you don't have to say it every single time and it just kind of looks repetitive. And speaking of repetitive, how you pointed out that I guess I didn't really realize it when I was writing it, but now that you said it and I went back through and read my paper, I'm like, wow, you're right. I did say that the European Union was a large body, either in this exact terms or different terminology, quite a few times. And I think, as you pointed out, I said that there was, I think, 752 members of the parliament, and I said that twice. So that's something I have to eliminate and go back through and read it and decide, where do I want that information, and make my point. And I think you made an interesting point about maybe I was bringing in again something that wasn't necessary by talking about the American government and the Senate and their veto power in relation to Parliament's veto power. But but I think the reason I was doing that was to show that it was like a power that was powerful, because, vetoing and appointments are what the Senate does, and I'd say those are one of arguably their most influential powers, and it's something that the European Parliament has. But then there's the discussion about whether or not the European Parliament has power. So I guess my point was trying to correlate between it and the Senate, which I think is undeniably a powerful body in the U.S. because everybody attains to be a senator, not in the House of Representatives, because A, there's 500 or 435, and B, it's huge. You wouldn't have as much power, and the House simply doesn't have as much power in Congress. But anyways, so maybe I need to think of a better way of connecting it, or maybe I'll just have to get rid of it completely, like you suggested. But I don't really want to do that because I'm trying to make my point about their powers. So that's just something I'm going to have to consider about how I want to go about that. But yeah, so I thought that was a point well taken. I'll just have to decide how I'm going to go about it. But yeah, I really appreciated your analysis, and I thought it was helpful, and that'll give me a lot to go on moving forward for my final, and hopefully yours was too. Thank you.